So I think we have to forward urgent the question. We will facilitate the question first. Okay, we have several questions. Some of it are posted directly to Mr. Jason. Well, some of it can be actually both complementary by both speakers. Okay, so Dr. Shafa, okay, we will go for Mr. Jason first. Maybe you would like to answer. Yeah, I think you have already taken over. Okay.
Okay. Hope I took notes down. Okay. The statistics, right? Okay. Let's talk about the statistics. The question that I noticed: were the respondents aware of what it means? Adakah mereka faham apa yang ditanya? Now, you can go to the MELAKA Center website. It's called the MELAKA Center. They publish all their findings, and you can read that. Now, it's actually, I think, about 14 pages of statistics, and they gave you the exact questions that were asked to the people, and it was pretty much random. It was pretty much decently solid representation of voters and adults, and it was fairly balancing. So if you read the report, you'll understand the 4 questions which were specifically asked, and they gave you the questions in English and VM also. So you can see how it was asked. Now, okay, why do Muslims? Why do I think Muslims in Malaysia may not seem ready? Or what do I mean by gradual? Okay. Let me put it like this. Islamic law has a PR problem. The Sharia jurisdiction is PR, public relations problem. Sisters in Islam, if you follow what do they say? They say the main problem is the enforcement of nafkah anak. You will have fathers who do not pay nafkah anak after they divorce. And if they cross state lines, you have to get an order that is from the Sharia court of another state, because each one has the jurisdiction lies within their own state. So if he has to pay nafkah in Johor, he goes to another state. It's a problem because they get an order affirmed in the other state. It takes time. Nafkah anak is a major problem because it causes hardships to the most weak people, of the children. And any system of law, the protection is always to the weakest. The protection of orphan and widows don't only exist in the Quran, it also exists in the Bible. So, gradually, what do I mean by that? Go after the divorced fathers who are not paying nafkah. Go after them. Once you go after them, you show that you're serious, and that's the sort of gradual thing that will make Islamic law more attractive to everyone. Anyone who's, no one likes a father who, yes, he may not like his wife anymore, they divorced, but no one here will side for the father who does not pay child support to his children, even though he's divorced from their mother. Even though the children are with the mother, you have responsibilities. Go after that. You get that done, it will be it creates a very good PR, public relations. The impression that is good. That's how you gradually push the idea that this is a good system. As Islamic banking was a good system. And if it wasn't, would more than 50% of the customers be non-Muslims? On the issue of nafkah also, please, if you can read the California bar admissions, one of the requirements to join the California bar in the United States is you don't have that, you are fulfilled, you pay your NACA, you pay your child maintenance. If you don't pay your child maintenance, you cannot be called as a lawyer in California. That part I learned about 2 weeks ago, as I was doing research on something else. Okay. I hope that covered most of the things. Now, hudud is very severe. It's a very, hudud, as I understand it, it's a very dramatic way of punishing. The stoning is done in public. The beheading is done in public. Cutting off of the limbs is public. Now, if you are interested, which I hope you are, you will look at the case of Latin Greek, L-E-K-E-N-G-A. Sorry, I can't give you the citation. I can give you the spelling. L-E-K-E-N-G-E-R-I-K. It's an incest case. It was decided by Hamid Sultan. He was the JC at that time in Sarawak, Kuching. But now he's a court of appeal judge. Now, he explained on the issue of whipping. Now, whipping in Malaysia came from the Indian Penal Code, and whipping is done not in public. Okay? So if you want to understand the history of the reasoning for punishment, read that case, because he gives you a really good point about it. If you're interested in how incest is applied in Malaysia, so that is actually the most liberal judgment on incest. Every other judgment on incest, there are about 16 in Malaysia, pretty much, very, very much against the offenders. Stoning. I think the whole purpose of sharp punishments is the drama of it, to scare people to not do it. I will come up clean here. I'll put it on record. I am against the death penalty, and I'll tell you why. I am against the death penalty on the basis that I know our system of justice depends on human beings. Human beings are fallible, we can make mistakes. My greatest fear always is we make a mistake and an innocent person dies. Can't bring a dead person back to life because of a mistake. That's why I'm against the death penalty. At the same time, I also understand the thing, the principle. If you don't have the death penalty, you are guaranteeing to everyone who is a potential mass murderer or psychotic killer, that he can do the worst thing to you or your family, to your loved ones, and you will guarantee him the one thing that is most precious to him, which is his life. So yes, I am anti-death penalty, but I also understand why there are good, solid reasons for imposing the death penalty. Having said that, may I suggest to the questioner, Quentin Tarantino is fun to watch, but please stop watching too much Hannibal or Game of Thrones.
How about the comment on the system that we have? Is it because of that?
Which part? The system that... Oh, I see. Yes, that was the... Oh yeah, it was supposed to be. People reject because of maybe the system is not good, they are corrupt officials. Am I correct? Are they correct? I really don't have an answer to that. I suppose everyone is afraid to get their hands chopped off. Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Everyone is afraid to get stoned to death. It's the severity of hudud that scares a lot of people. And at the same time also, I'm sorry if I'm speaking out of turn, but I think it's quite hard to understand because there are many schools of jurisprudence in Islamic law. And that creates what is and what isn't. And we can see in the recent few days, weeks, the issue that related to the touching of dogs, that event, I want to touch a dog. Some say, some schools say yes, some say that, that is only for a minor thing, which is, I think, makruh, but not haram. It depends on the school. Again, it's a school of thought. At which point, we brought up the smoking, which is obviously haram, and Fatwa Council has already declared haram. And then nobody is talking about it. The thing is, for a non-Muslim, I find it very hard because I don't know where one school starts, where one school ends. And I did not take Sharia law as part of my academic studies. But reading as much as I can, I'm trying to understand within the context of the law, the criminal law that I practice mainly. And I'm trying to find lines of similarities where you can build bridges, work on those things. But I'm sorry, I really can't. Why people don't want to accept implementation of the law? It's there. And a very lack of knowledge. Just don't know enough. And MELAKA centers that this is probably should, because the most glaring part was across the board. Muslims and non-Muslims were not really. Read this.
Right, I will respond to the first questions. Religion is about the dichotomy of powers between the federal and the state governments. Is that the reasons? The first question was it is the dichotomy or the separation of powers between the federal government and the state government that makes the legislation of hudud difficult? I don't think so. Still have offences and punishment at the federal level. I mean, the federal legislature may legislate it, but the real problem is the differences of the philosophy of criminal law. The philosophy of criminal law. If our federal legislature accept the Islamic philosophy of criminal law, they can be legislated. But the idea here, the philosophy of criminal law in Malaysia does not really match with the Islamic philosophy of criminal law, not because of the separation of powers. That is to say, while Mr. Jackson was saying any criminal matters will be under the federal legislature. So the federal legislature can make the law if they want to, or they understand the philosophy, or they want to adopt the philosophy of Islamic criminal law. So they can do that within the purview of the administration of criminal justice under Item number 4 of the federal list. So they can do that, not because of the separation of powers. But the main reason is because the different different application or different understanding, I can say so, the different understanding of philosophy of criminal law. That's it. Secondly, how to make Malaysians understand Islamic law. That understand that Malaysia is already has already practiced Islamic law, or having provisions of law that consistent with the Islamic law. How do we make people understand? Being a teacher for 23 years, I think I have quite huge number of students. And my students also have huge number of students. Mr. Muhammad is a living evidence. Huge number of students. There is one thing from education system. Education system can make people understand. But I don't think this is a medium size, but maybe also the delivery of the knowledge on the legal knowledge needs some improvement. We don't have many people from the university speak to the public. Academics are academic. Most academics speaking within the university and sometimes do not allow students to speak up. So when you stop people from questioning, you as a teacher also will stop from thinking. Because questions is challenge academics. So one is through education system. We have many ways doing it, that probably in the university, going to the schools, and government also may take or should take a proactive role to make people understand as how they make people understand what GSD is. They have a routine ready throughout the country to explain what GSD is, how is it applied. So this, but I think the civil society is doing it. The civil society is doing it to explain to people. Yesterday I was presenting a paper on masyarakat sivil dan pendemokrasian, the civil society and democratization. This is an important issue. The masyarakat civil also has to gain knowledge to understand. Only then they can deliver to the public. Now, I'm going to the very root. Whose view on Islam should be accepted? Now people rejecting muftis also. People reject the authorities in Islam. So this is the main reason now. They're starting to reject the decisions or the opinion of mufti, jawatan kuasa fatwa decision being questioned. So now every single Malaysian now, every single person now has to make an initiative by themselves. It's a very, very hard time for us, but then for us as academic, for me in the university as academic. So I think how to answer how we can make people understand is one through education system, second through civil society, and that civil society has to also have make certain effort to pursue or understand what the law is and what Islamic law is. And the main point is that to have that integration of understanding. Meaning, if we understand Islamic law alone, we don't understand what is the applicable law, we cannot make people understand. If we understand the Malaysian law alone without understanding the Islamic law, then we will not be able to achieve the integration. Or to understand that Malaysian law has the elements of Islamic law. Integration of knowledge in one person. If you do LLB, you will do LLB Sharia. Together, you have double degree, then you'll be able to do compact. Then only you can make sure that this system is integrated. I think I am teaching both laws also, but probably due to credit hours, contact hours, then students should be lessened with a better understanding of both systems. That will be, but that will not help us to understand both systems. So you have to do when I was doing my LLB degree, for 4 years we did LLB, another 1 year I did my LLB Sharia and comparative law at the master's level. Okay, that is the first one. The second one is about investment from outside. He's not here anymore. Sorry. Effect of hudud, implementation of hudud. I think Brunei has faced this. But Daulat Tuanku untuk Sultan Brunei, because of the self-determination, what the country of Brunei wants to apply. But we must remember Brunei is different from us. Brunei is a constitutional monarchy, but we are in democracy. People have freedom to speak, but lesser in Brunei. And of course that will affect. However, it will affect. Another thing is because of the new world order after President Obama took the presidential seat, then the new world order has been a wave, a strong wave to the globe. So the views from this international community, or the benchmarks, the benchmark from the international community, especially on human rights, is a very basic issue only. But therefore, the country must be very strong. One thing, as a national state, we have to abide with the constitution, and that constitution will, that our state, let's say the current issue where the United Nations also make the statements on our Akta Hasutan. What more is something which is labeled with the religion. I can expect on the difficulty that the government and our country will face if we do have that implementation of hudud. But if we can fight against this, it will be no problem, I think. If we can be ready with that. And the second question is about elements of crime. Are they the same? And what is also about what is about the evidence also? Of course, now I have to categorize crimes in Islam in order for us to understand whether the elements are the same, or the evidential process are the same, or the evidence also the same, the procedure is also the same. Now in Islam, as you all understand, probably many of you have understood this, we have 3 categories of offenses, crimes, right? Hudud, qisas, and ta'zir. For hudud only, they have a very stringent requirements of procedural process as well as the evidential process. The requirements of having 4 witnesses for adultery. 4 witnesses are those witnesses who have the criteria, who have satisfied the certain criteria at the time when they saw the act and at the time when they deliver the evidence in court. So this is the requirement of evidential process. For hudud is very, very stringent. So if probably your lecturer may have said or may have shared with you in class that to convict a person for zina for adultery based on 4 eyewitnesses who have seen the penetration. Not only see that somebody hiding someone under the blanket, but see the penetration itself. So that will be something to punish on the shameful, not about the act itself. But therefore, the requirements of evidence is different only in hudud offences. But in another, that is ta'zir, is lesser requirement of evidence. Therefore, these can be similar to what we have balance of beyond any reasonable doubt, or the standard of proof. But in hudud, we need to have beyond any shadow of doubt. Beyond any shadow of doubt, that is in hudud. But in ta'zir, we can have beyond any reasonable doubt. That is the standard of proof. Okay, I cannot be details on this. Let's say, or to have how many witnesses, what are the criteria of witnesses. But in ta'zir, lesser requirement. In hudud, yes. We need to have new evidential law and also new procedural law for hudud offences. But for ta'zir, so far it may be sufficient. Of course, few improvement can be done, but that's not detrimental. For another one, for cases, kisos, I think we have deliberated on that, the kisos requirement. But for hudud, of course, requirement, elements, and evidential requirements and procedures are different. Value of death, the third question, the third person to ask on value of the depends on the sentence. Of course, there are the quantity or the amount and the criteria, what's amounting to theft punishable by hudud. There will be theft punishable by ta'zir. There will be theft punishable by hudud. When a theft does not reach the criteria of theft punishable by hudud, this thief will not be let free. This thief may be punished with ta'zir, with less criteria of punishment, less criteria of offences or actus reus. Is that clear? We cannot say that if we cannot punish this person with hudud, then he will let free. No, we can charge him for ta'zir. Okay? Severity of punishment. I think I agree with the answer by Mr. Jason just now. And I would say that the severity of punishment is of course one reason why. Another reason is lack of knowledge. Because severe punishment will meet severe, stringent requirements of evidence and very high standard of proof. The highest standard of proof that is beyond any shadow of doubt, not only reasonable doubt. So if we want to make the punishment less severe, can we make hudud punishment less severe? No. Hudud punishment we cannot change. When we say that it's punishable with death, punishable with cutting off hand, must be cutting off hand. We cannot change. But if we name this as ta'zir, you cannot fulfill the criteria that punishable with cutting off hand. We can replace the punishment, but the name of the offense has changed. That is from hudud become ta'zir. I think that is clear, right? Okay, that is all, and thank you.
So, hopefully all of us are satisfied with the comment and answer from both speakers. And I see a lot of rooms, very wide opportunity for this kind of discussion to go on. All this understanding that we need to give, to deliver. I am very happy with all the questions and also the response by both speakers. Okay, so before we end our forum, so let us go for the last round, where we'll invite both speakers maybe to just give some concluding remark with what we have discussed today, and maybe some something in your mind before we leave this program. Okay, I invite Mr. Jason first.
Yeah, I think it's a bit late because I'm starting to feel tired. What time is it now? Okay, just a quick one. Read more. And it's really it, because you're here at university, that's the whole point. I mean, unless you just want to get that degree, then more power to you. But the whole point you are in university is to challenge yourself, challenge your mind, and challenge your perception. If you don't change the day you leave university from the person you were when you came in, probably would have wasted 3 years. Read and read more, and have an open mind, but not a wandering mind. Don't be afraid to learn. Okay? Understand the other point of view. See how it is to step into the other shoe. And you'll be fine. Our strength as Malaysians is our diversity. And that is our strength. Let's not forget that. So whatever you call it, good law, civil law, common law, as long as at the end of it, it's justice, it resonates with you, with who you are as a person, what you feel as a person, that this is the right thing to do, this is the wrong thing to do. Come on, no one is going to say killing someone is right, unless it's war. Even then, it's not really that right, is it? But no one's going to say stealing is right. Those are the common grounds you can follow. We work on that. The rest is just principles, different points of view, policy decisions, and just a lot of reading and understanding. I leave you there.
Thank you, Mr. Jason. Very inspiring conclusion.
I share Mr. Jason's words. Read, 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 and read, and read. With open mind and open heart. Two things must be integrated with the minds and hearts. Ready to accept criticism, ready to agree to the disagreements. I'm glad that we are given the opportunity to speak on the issue which many people think is a very sensitive issue. But we have to speak up on this issue, or otherwise we keep to ourselves, but we start to make assumptions. Assumptions, presumptions is dangerous. Now, what I can see is that we understand, we understand, try to learn to understand each other, agree to the disagreement for the sake of the nation, for the sake of our beloved country. We will not find similar situation as many other countries in the world are facing now. So, as a mother, probably, because most of you are all like my own children, same age of my own children. You are the future leaders of the country. And the future leaders must have knowledge, because the challenges that you will be facing is much more serious as compared to our time or my time. Okay, what we have learned in the implementation of Islamic law tonight will be, probably to some of you, will be a starting point to understand more and to learn more. So I congratulate you all for being passionate here, and we have 3-hour session or 2.5 hour session. Is not something that will make that this 2-hour session is a beneficial one for our future. This 2 hour probably will have changed our mind for the rest of our life. So thank you and Assalamualaikum.
We are glad to be here again, to have our two speakers sharing knowledge and their opinions with regard to the issue. Let us give them a round of applause again. And on behalf of the speakers, I would also like to congratulate the organizer, Institusi Usra. May this type of program, this type of discussion to be extended in future, okay? More and more series to be held so that we can actually deliver the beauty and the essence of this subject. So I, as a moderator, would like to also thank you for the audience, also both speakers. We have a very good program tonight. Okay, so that's all. I pass it to Master. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and both to all speakers. Can we give another round of applause to all of them? Alright, very interesting talk we had tonight. Very interesting. I could feel the heat. I saw just now there there were more questions they would like to ask. Maybe we can have another session, maybe West Farid, the director of the event, maybe we can have a second episode, 3 of them together, maybe a longer day, maybe at a bigger venue at the main hall. Hopefully one day, maybe, inshallah. Right, Institusi Nusra is always open for more events like this. Alright, with that, it marks the end of our talk tonight, but before I end this session for tonight, I would like to invite the advisor for Usra Institution, Mr. Hasbullah bin Mat Saad, accompanied by Mr. Shah Rizul Dahlan, the president of Usra Institution, to deliver the token of appreciation to both of our speakers. I would like to invite the first speaker, Mr. Jason King, to accept the token of appreciation from Mr. Hasbullah. And Professor Syamahayu. And Mr. Moderator, Mr. Muhammad. Alright, thank you to Mr. Hasbullah. And thank you again to the speakers and Mr. Moderator. I hope that all the points that we have been given by them are very beneficial for us and we can share to our friends who are here tonight. And yeah, I believe because as I saw earlier that many questions would like to raise, but because of no time, right? Maybe you guys can ask the questions to the right people. Don't just keep assuming of, as Professor Shamayu said, assumption and presumption are very bad. Alright? So ask to those who are expert, ask to those who have the knowledge. Alright? Thank you for coming in, representing the Nusra Institution. I would like to thank everyone for coming tonight, and we would like to apologize for any inconvenience, for any misconduct, for my tersasul, terbelit lidah, whatever. I'm very sorry. And I hope to see all of you again for the second lecture talk, which will be held on the 6th November next week at CLC 2006 regarding the Islamic State, whether the Islamic State is our friend or foe. You want to know the answer? Come next week on our talk. And I would like to invite all of you for a light supper prepared outside at the CLC concourse. With that, we may have different views, but we shall stay as one Malaysia. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and have a good night. Thank you.